Bible study group, or what did I say? It's United Methodist Bible. Because Papa's in there, I can't say. Like United Methodist Women's Group. And Reese's there.
Oh, Methodist Women.
Why couldn't she say it's a Bible study?
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of us are in the Bible study.
All right. Ready for me to start?
Oh.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Oh, I am ready as ever.
We're gonna have to put a mic on you.
Okay. All right, I'll try to speak up a little bit. Is that a little bit better? Or I know lots of people have a hard time hearing me.
Don't make faces, he's a video.
Are you recording?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. This is my presentation for speech class. I'm attending Hawking College for the RN program, and right now I'm a full-time LPN on a cardiac unit. I've been doing it for over a couple years now. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the cardiac field. It's a little bit different for everyone, but we'll just kind of hit the main points of certain things in that field. Has anyone ever had a cardiac experience or like an episode of chest pain like in the past? And could anyone tell me what that was like?
I had a chest pain. I had a heart attack, and I broke out in a sweat, real cold sweat. I felt like there wasn't enough air to breathe.
Yeah, a lot of times you hear about the pain or pressure, shortness of breath, and a lot of times you hear that with chest pain episodes or something sitting on their chest. A lot of people says it feels like an elephant is sitting on them, or it starts in their chest and it goes down an arm. Most of the time you hear the left arm, but sometimes I've heard the right, and sometimes I hear it starts in the chest and goes up to the jaw, or in the upper back, and then it wraps around to the chest. It's a little bit different for everyone, and there's different things that do cause chest pain, but some of the main things are like cholesterol buildup in your arteries. That can cause chest pain. It causes like a hard plaque in your arteries. And then another one is a blood clot or blockage in your main arteries around your heart, usually your coronary arteries around your heart. And then the last thing is spasms of those blood vessels around your heart are like the three main cardiac reasons for chest pain. Risk factors are high blood pressure, smoking, and high cholesterol. One thing that a doctor always wants to do whenever you come in having chest pain is start an anticoagulant just in case there is a blood clot circulating that's causing your chest pain. It will go ahead and break up that blood clot. Usually they start Lovenox shots most of the time, or some people start with an aspirin. So if you're having chest pain at home and you call the ambulance and say you take an aspirin while you're waiting on the ambulance to get there, I'd recommend just let them know like how much aspirin you took and what time you took it, so they know to report that off once you get to the hospital, so they'll already know that you started your anticoagulant. And then, has anyone ever taken nitroglycerin before? A lot of times you hear it tingles and burns and it causes a headache. Did you ever get a headache with taking nitroglycerin a couple times?
I did.
Yeah, lots of people get headaches. It's important whenever you're taking nitroglycerin to check your blood pressure. I know not everyone at home has a blood pressure cuff, but one thing nitroglycerin will do is drop your blood pressure, and you don't want to, they say take it up to 3 times 5 minutes apart, and it's probably a good thing if you do have it at home to go ahead and get a blood pressure machine to check it before you take your nitroglycerin to see what the nitroglycerin is doing to your blood pressure. because you don't want to take a second one if the first one drops your blood pressure significantly. So that's one thing that you probably should do if you take nitroglycerin at home.
Can you take the nitroglycerin and the aspirin?
Mhm.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't,
Then aspirin is for your anticoagulant
Right,
starting,
right.
To break up the clot, and you can take the nitroglycerin because that's going to help relieve your chest pain. You can do both of those together. But I recommend following up with your cardiologist though, because they might say something different, but usually people do take those, and it's not a problem. Does anyone follow a cardiac diet? Or does anyone know what a cardiac diet consists of? Like low sodium, low
like
blood.
low fat and
Yeah,
no salt, right?
yeah. I was just going to ask that because some people don't know what a cardiac diet consists of. So it's just important to check the fat content of what you're getting, and the sodium content are two important things to check on. And then there's different ways to treat chest pain. First they can do a stress test to check the blood flow to your heart and see if they need to go in further with a more invasive procedure. Has anyone ever had a stress test done? Either the medication stress test, and the medication can be a nuclear stress test, or a dobutamine or adenosine stress test, or the medicines that they give you to speed up your heart without having to exercise. And then you can do the exercise stress test where you get on the treadmill or like a little bicycle and work your heart up and do the stress test. So has anyone ever had those things done before?
I've had the stress test and I got it where I did the exercise one, but now I have to have the one. I suppose it's nuclear because I go in and I lay on a cot and they put something in my arm and it makes me have a funny feeling, and
They'll speed up your heart and then they'll slow it back down, and that helps the doctor the cardiologist will look at it and determine what they want to do from there. Has anyone ever had a heart catheterization where they went in a little further
Yes,
and looked to see?
I have.
Yeah, and they'll go in and they'll look and see if you have clots or blockages, and if arteries need to be opened up, they could put a stent in there to open it up a little bit. If they don't think a stent is needed, sometimes they do a balloon, and they balloon it open and press everything off the side, and that is good enough to keep that artery open instead of placing a stent.
is it the cholesterol that they're pressing off to the side when they use the balloon in there?
Usually cholesterol is what causes plaque buildup, and sometimes if it's too hard, I've heard doctors before talk with patients, and if the cholesterol's too hard and they just can't get around it, then they just talk to them about another procedure, such as angioplasty, where they go in and they have to fix it. A stent can't fix it and a balloon can't fix it if the cholesterol buildup is too bad. And I do think it is cholesterol is what causes that plaque and buildup. That's the main thing. But if it's a blood clot, then that's a little different. But usually blood clot won't be staying there. You'll be using your clot busters to get that. That's not for stent placement. So I say it is cholesterol that stays there in your arteries and causes that plaque. Is there any other questions? Or?
Okay, just a minute.
But it's best to also talk to your cardiologist about this stuff. I mean, nurses, we provide some teaching to our patients, but the best one to talk to is your cardiologist, because we don't want to say too much. So the doctors are the main ones to talk about stuff. Is there any other questions? Well, thank you all for your time. appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to come here and listen to my speech. And it will really help me with my speech class, and thank you.